Hey, shalom, shalom. All praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Chakudash. Peace and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom unto the elect. All right, real quick, gonna get into this lesson. I was just so many things to get into lessons on right now, so it's just pick and choose, But this kind of jumped out, of all the things that's coming out, where Tucker Carlson, which Tucker Carlson came across the apostles many years ago, and maybe he was sent, or maybe he just happened to be around there. But he's seen the power, man, of the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. He's seen it. All right, and that devil Tucker Carlson, man, he's seen it. He's seen them, and he heard the message. All right, and you could see in how he interacts that interaction with the apostles stuck with him to this day, because he gives Ted Cruz a lot of pushback on supporting the current state of Israel. He mentioned the state of Israel versus the nation of Israel. All right. And we know that those people are not the real Israelites, man. Okay. And I have a couple of things I want to bring out. Lord's will is edifying, but I'm going to just go ahead and play some of this. All right. And then I got some scriptures lined up to tie in with it. So let's get right into it.
Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible. Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible. Those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse
fair use, by the way.
Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those
right there. Those who bless the government of Israel. You see? So Tucker Carlson is making a differentiation here because he knows and understands in the back of his mind, all right, they know about the real Israelites, man. They know who we are. Okay. And Ted Cruz is full of shit. All right. This guy has been able to prance around and parade himself as a man of knowledge, right? As a, he's a politician, of course, double-tongued and all that, but he's been able to do that. But now these guys, their card is getting pulled, and they might take, I'm not gonna lie, man, they might take Tucker Carlson out, all right, because he's giving a lot of pushback on Israel, and they're in a these Amalekites are very sensitive about criticism, and when anybody pulls their card or exposes them, especially him being like an insider in a sense, that guy might be anybody that's involved in the media and has been on a big platform, he was over there in Russia, they might have sent him as an asset. He might be an asset, but either way, this guy knows that what Ted Cruz is saying is bullshit, and he starts to pull his card on it. All right. And Ted Cruz doesn't know nothing about the Bible, but this is the talking points they use. You see, these people, it doesn't take much to expose them, man. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this precept real quick before we get into any more. All right. Psalm 64. Just get straight to the point. Okay. Psalm 64 and 8. No, Psalm 64 and 8. Yeah, it is 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So their own tongue, the things that they're saying is exposing them. All right, because Tucker Carlson is an Edomite, but yet he's being used by the Lord to expose the state of Israel. And this is why we always mention the state of Israel versus the nation of Israel. There is a difference. All right, the so-called Black, Latino, and Native American, we are the biblical Israelites, okay? And because our people are in such a low estate, our people are in the ghettos of America, our people are, frankly, they act crazy and wild, and they when you look at them, you'll say, how is this the people of God? But at the end of the day, they're fulfilling those curses that's written in the scriptures, all right, of us being completely in disorder and destroyed, okay, for lack of knowledge. Okay, so the Lord's people are destroyed or perish for a lack of knowledge, okay? But again, the Lord is having them, expose themselves, these Edomites, okay? So let's continue.
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my. You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it. And you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology. I'm confused.
He's really getting at him, man. I love it. It's beautiful. You could tell that, hey, man, you could tell that interaction with the apostles really affected this guy, man. You can see he's pushing against what they're doing because he knows that Armageddon is the result of what they're doing. And he heard the words of prophecy from the apostles, man, directly from the horse's mouth, as they say. So you can see he's being bold because he's just pushing because he's trying to expose it in a hope that he can maybe prevent this World War III from happening. But guess what? It's nothing you can do to stop it, okay? Because it's all prophecy. So this guy, that he has nightmares. That the apostles in the back of his mind, this word, all right? And Hamashiach Yahushua is coming back, man. So there's nothing they can do to escape it.
What does that even mean?
Tucker,
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel.
Those people over there are not Israel. They don't fulfill the prophecies of Israel. Okay. Now I have it pulled up here, right? Okay. Just simple Google search, right? Which we know these scriptures, but just the way that it's broken down here. All right. This is the phrase, whoever blesses Israel will be blessed, is a well-known biblical concept primarily stemming from Genesis 12:3 and Numbers 24:9. These verses promise divine blessing to those who support and favor the nation of Israel, while conversely, those who oppose or curse Israel may face divine consequences according to some interpretations of these scriptures. Now, the so-called white man, you two, all right, Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz, okay, Netanyahu, Trump, all the way back from centuries ago, your forefathers has persecuted and destroyed the Lord's flock, the nation of Israel. All right, because the prophecies, all right, the curses say what? That we will go into cargo slave ships. All right, and that prophecy does not fulfill. You people that are in the land right now do not fulfill that prophecy. Okay, we're just gonna grab it real quick. Straight to the point, all right? And amongst all of these curses are fulfilled in our people, all right? The Black, Latino, and Native American man, so-called. Deuteronomy 28:68, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, right, into a place of bondage, all right? But Egypt means double straits, okay, Montezarium. But Egypt represents what? A place where you're going to serve captivity. By the way, so it's not the actual Egypt, but it's another Egypt, which is America. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Meaning what? No one will redeem us. None of our kinsmen can redeem us. Okay? Because if you're being sold, if you had another Israelite there to say, well, I'm going to buy them and I'll buy them for a higher price, then you wouldn't go into captivity. You would be delivered. But we were all, as a nation, destroyed systematically, okay? And that's how America was established. All right, so you in fact cursed Israel. And this is a fulfillment of the curses on Israel. So the Lord used you so-called white people, you Edomites, in order to destroy us, all right, for our punishment, because we transgress against them. All right, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be, you're going to have to pay for what you did. All right, you're not going to go out scot-free. You're going to have to pay. So the people in that land right now, they do not fulfill. They didn't go anywhere in cargo slave ships. There's no history. There's no prophecy fulfilled in them being the Lord's people, because they never went into slavery in ships. All right. That's only fulfilled in so-called Black, Latino, Native American, because also Latinos are basically Native Americans. We're called Latinos because we were conquered by the Spanish, the conquistadors, and they put that identity on us, that Spanish language. But ultimately, we're also Native Americans because we're native to the Americas. So they took, not only did they bring the so-called black man over here, all right, from West Africa, all right, also from other parts of Europe, all right, dealing with the Moors, but also they would take certain of the native tribes, the Northern Kingdom tribes, they would take them to other parts of Europe, all right, and also ship them around to other places where they were needed, okay, in order to serve what? Captivity. All right. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah Zaquan. Yeah, that was a heavy one, This guy, Shalom. This guy, Tucker, man, he really been on one since you can see, and you can see how the hand of the Lord is using him for a particular purpose, Hey, the Lord could use anybody to bring out certain messages, man. And clearly he's using this guy Tucker to hold certain politicians and leaders in America and Babylon accountable. All right. But let's continue on.
But number two.
Well, hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and
he's getting frustrated now. See, because Tucker's he's crashing out basically because he sees like, yeah, Armageddon's about to happen. I might as well say something, but there's nothing you can say to prevent it. You see, so yeah, this guy got to be tormented, man. That's why he's being bold, man. He's probably one of the most boldest journalists I've seen in terms of calling these people out face to face.
And now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
The government of the state of Israel. And, you're not a Christian, first of all. The real Christians are Israelites, all right, because we are anointed. In order to be a Christian, you have to be anointed. You have to be a follower of the true Messiah. His name is Yahushua, and he's a so-called black man. This Jesus character that you people have invented, that your forefathers invented, he's not the true image. So you're following a false idol and you're not a Christian. Okay. But what he's saying in the sense of the state of Israel, those people are not the real Israelites, because the scripture does say that you will be blessed if you bless Israel. But the real Israelites are not who you think they are for the masses of people. But the truth of who we are is coming out, man. And it's going to get louder than ever, man. Because when Esau is going through it, Esau is clearly losing his mind right now. These elites, they're going crazy. And, they're trying to rush to bring in their new world order. They're going to start turning it on us because we're the ones that are exposing the truth. We hold the light of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, the light, man. The light does what? It exposes things and it shines a light, and we're able to expose who are the Iranians in the Bible, the Persians. Matter of fact, even this guy Ted Cruz is about to say it. All right. Well, actually, I don't think it might not be in this clip. There was another clip where he started basically quizzing him on different facts about Iran, and this dude didn't even know the population of Iran or what was the majority of the what was the number of the population, what was the ethnic breakdown. He didn't know anything, so he got exposed. You see.
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? And
the thing about it is that they know that those are Israel, but they don't know anybody else's biblical identity. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? You only know who they are in the Bible, but you don't know anybody else. So who are we according to the Bible? Who are you according to the Bible? But because they said so, and they had a 1948 Balfour Declaration to put themselves in the land, all right, which was really the Rothschilds, a creation of the elites, all right. But that those are the Israelites. You see? And Tucker knows the truth. He knows that those are not the people. He's like, shit, I see the real Israelites. They were up on 34th, man. In the back of his, he's got to be thinking that, man. So that's why he's able to call it out. And it's subtle, but you can tell, man. He's you know, in the back of his mind, he knows who the real Israelites are, man. He knows that it's us. And that video, man, that infamous video of him going up to the apostle, man, it keeps coming up. All right. And you could tell he was shook up, man.
This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel. Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking.
Is it the current borders? Well, let's see what the Bible says about who would be in Israel in the end times. I got a couple precepts getting into that. All right, this is hold on a second. I'm about to pull up the book of Zechariah, okay? Zechariah 9:6. Let's see what it says, right? Zechariah 9:6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines, okay? Ashdod, that is a city right now, okay? Okay, let's look up Ashdod. Let's see. Okay, what does it say? Ashdod, the 6th largest city in Israel. And who's living there right there? Right now, small hats. It's certainly not the true people of the Lord, man. Okay? Since 1948, it has been a city in southwestern Israel. So, again, just because you're in the land doesn't make you the people. And according to biblical prophecy, majority of the Lord's people would not be in the land, because that was our judgment, to be removed to the land and scattered into every nation. And the primary place where we at right now is North America, Babylon the Great, right here in the US of A, man. Okay, so the elect is going to be delivered, though. The elect is going to be delivered. The elect of the nation of Israel is going to be delivered from this third world war. That's why you can see us talk about it so freely, you know, with our liberty and Yahweh Shai. You know, the shackles and the chains of this world being off of us, man. We can talk about it because we know and understand there's a deliverance associated with us, man. Okay, but a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, man. Who's that bastard? All right, well, let's get it in, let's see. See, this is why the elite's going to come down on us, man, because this is the main exposure. This truth, all right? Hebrews. Okay. Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. This is the most wicked man you could think of, Esau, and that's who you come from. All right, Ted Cruz, which he has a Northern Kingdom name, Cruz, but you know the way he operates is that of an Edomite. And what's his name? Tucker Carlson. You are Edomites, all right? Okay, and you come from that profane man. Okay, but let's continue.
Talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah.
The political entity, see? That's all that it is over there. It's a state that was created, all right, by the elites, by the Rothschilds, okay? It's a creation of the US and the UK in order to do what? In order to proclaim to be the people of the Lord and use that, which when you look at how they live in the land of Israel, these devils are filthy, man. All right. Tel Aviv, Pink City, has the biggest sodomite parade on planet Earth. And that shit just got canceled. And isn't it ironic that in the middle of Pride Month, you know, the pride of thine heart has to have deceived thee, that shit had to get canceled because they were getting rocked by Iranian missiles, man. So the Lord is working, man. The true and living power is working. When the real Israelites are in that land, they're not going to have to worry about being bombed. Okay, we're going to be at peace in that land, and that's going to be a glorious return, not a 1948 Balfour Declaration for you goofy, stupid ass Christians, man. And Jake eats this shit up. You don't look into nothing. You don't research. That's because the Lord ain't dealing with you, man. The Lord is not dealing with you. All right. You church jakes, because this is the nonsense that you spew out, the chosen people. And the minute that somebody calls it out, you're anti-Sem, you're a conspiracy theorist, But you have never had to answer these questions about the identity of these people in their land and the things that they're doing. Okay, completely upside down. You have this one individual. He's a so-called rabbi. All right, Shmuley is his name, right? I'm gonna play something this devil said, right? All right, and you tell me, is this the type of people? And just looking at him, he looks like a damn ugly devil, man. You know, the nerve of you to proclaim, you know, to be the Lord's people, looking like that. But aside from that, man, I'm just play some of this, and you tell me if this seems like the people of the Lord, man. All right, you can read it right there. This dude, he says he's an atheist. That's the thing. Majority of those people over there are saying they don't even believe in a higher power, because you're the devil that the Bible speaks of. Not only that, you're the worst of the devil. You're the worst of Edom. You're Amalek, the tribe that the Lord has war against to all generations, man. And you can see in how they act. This dude right here, you can see the rage that he has against the Most High. All right. And they don't even believe in the prophets. They don't believe in the book. They don't even believe in the Most High, but yet they want to be Israel. Why? Because it's giving them it's all about political positioning. You know, they're positioned over there in that land, and they're trying to use that to dominate the region. All right, that's why it says, what's their claim to the land again?
He said, God, from the time I was a child, I was given payas, I was taught to Shema, and I was taught to believe in you as God. Now, for the past 2 years in the ghetto, you have done everything in your power to prove to me that you do not exist.
He's talking about the Most High God, mind you.
To make me into an atheist, or that even if you don't exist, that you're cruel, that you're wicked, that
he's saying the Most High is wicked. The nerve of this devil. Meanwhile, this guy runs a shop for sex toys, man, with his daughter over there in Israel, man. Just a profane. We just read he's profane, man. So you're doing the works of your forefather Esau, man, because only a profane, wicked, you know, the wicked. All right, that's why you're known as the wicked. The nation of Edom is the most wicked nation on earth, man. All right, you're the devil. Okay.
You're unloving, that you're vengeful. But I want you to know that I will die the way I was born, a believer.
Vengeful, yeah. The Most High is vengeful, and he's gonna cast his vengeance upon you and your people for what you're doing.
That there is no power in the universe, including you, God, creator of heaven and earth, he who fills the infinite expanse of space. I, as a Jew, am stronger than you.
This devil's crazy, man. This Edomite saying that he's stronger than the Most High. Well, the Most High gonna show you something, man. This is why the Lord gonna fuck you people up, man. And when you think about everything they've done and the way they are moving and what they're doing in the land of Israel, which is supposed to be a holy land, all right, you completely understand why the Lord is gonna cast his destruction upon them, man.
My name is Israel, he who wrestles with God and is victorious. I will die with my faith.
Faith in what? He doesn't even believe in the Most High. He just said the Most High is wicked. He said he's stronger than the Most High. And you devils are the weakest of all nations, man. You're just placed in this position so the Lord can judge you because he hates you. All right? So you're created to be an example of what the Most High hates, man. You see? So let's enough of this goddamn motherfucker, man. I'm tired of seeing his face. But this is who they're saying is the Lord's people over there in the land with a dildo shop. a family run. Him and his daughter. There's videos of them in there doing whatever kind of freaky shit. You know. This is the people who are supposed to be the Lord's chosen people. Give me a fucking break, man. And that's why that whole narrative is falling apart, man. You Christians are finished, all right? If you still believe that these are the people of the Lord, man, you're going to eat a missile. Let's just be frank. Unless the Lord has mercy on you and you repent from that madness. Okay? Because this is not just, it's not that they're not the chosen people. It's that they are the opposite. They're chosen to be the wicked. All right? They're the most hated of the Most High, man. All right? That's why the scripture says what? Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Okay? But let's continue. Oh, matter of fact, before we do that, I want to read a little bit more on this. All right, Genesis 12:3, because they mentioned, the Lord blessing, whoever blesses Israel, right? Genesis 12:3. This verse is part of God's covenant with Abraham, promising that those who bless him and his descendants, the Israelites, will be blessed, and those who curse them will be cursed. And in the kingdom, all the nations, of course, outside of Esau, you're going to be on the bottom, serving the harshest form of captivity. And the other nations, they're also going to be in captivity, but they're also going to come to us to learn the ways of righteousness. And the nations are going to rejoice, man, when we're in the power seat. All right? They're not going to mind being underneath us, man, because they're going to be able to enjoy the earth, man. This is the proper order of how things are supposed to be. The reason why the world is upside down is because you fake people that are claiming to be the Lord's people, fake chosen, all right, are really the wicked. And that's why everybody around you in those regions don't want you there. It's all spiritual, man. Okay? See, Ted Cruz don't know nothing about the Bible. Neither does Trump, none of these politicians. They're just stooges that are put out there, man. All right? Numbers 24:9 says, in this verse, Balaam, a prophet, blesses Israel, declaring, blessed are those who bless you, and cursed are those who curse you. You see? And that's all you do is curse us, man, because you continuously seek to destroy us, man. All right? You're not blessing the real Israelites. You're seeking to destroy them and demonize us, man. You see? For the sheer fact of just knowing that we're Israelites alone, they'll say you're anti-Sem just for knowing that. Okay? But it's not talking about those people over there, man. But let's continue a little bit more on this.
Nations exists, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
No, it ain't. And Tucker knows that. And even Ted Cruz don't even sound like he believes that. Yes. He's just spewing dogma. He's just spewing nonsense, man. All right? And people are hip to it, man. This is why it's all falling apart for Esau, man. They think they're big and mighty hitting Iran. You just signed your death certificate, man. All right? Because the Lord is going to use these nations, and the Lord is not with Iran or Russia. Yeah, Salaki about that. But I'm gonna play a little bit more on this.
And by the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected.
But he's the prime minister,
right?
What?
But just like America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle
This is
there.
silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
You believe
Israel.
that's what God was talking about in
Yes.
Genesis.
I do, but
That country's existed since when?
For thousands.
So it's clearly falling apart. All right, the whole narrative, the whole doctrine of them being the Lord's people is all falling apart, and the Lord is exposing it. All right, through these different talking heads and different conversations that's being had, it's all coming to the light. Okay, it's all coming to the light, man. The Lord is clearly bringing it out, and this word is what's really the main issue for them, man. Because you see how it's all a war for the minds of the people. All right, it's a war for the minds of the people. They're trying to convince everybody that they are the people, that they should be there. All right, but everything they're doing is opposed to righteousness, man. All right, and I'm gonna get a couple more. All right, we're gonna get Micah. Micah 4, okay, Micah 4:1. And it reads, "But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it." See, those people, they're not flowing unto it. The Iranians, the Chinese, these different nations, they're not flowing unto you. All right, they don't want to go to you to learn righteousness because they can't go to you to learn righteousness, even if they wanted to. Okay, they're gonna have to, and the nations, they're just like a woman. A woman flocks to power, right? When they see us in the seat of power, they're gonna want to say, "Man, we got to follow these people." All right, and if there's any rebellion against us, it's gonna get annihilated instantly, man. All right, because we're gonna actually be in the seat of power. We're not gonna need rockets, missiles. All right, we're not gonna need carnal weapons. We're gonna be the weapons of mass destruction. All right, because the Lord is gonna give us spiritual power. Okay, but this is talking about the true rulership of the nation of Israel. So yeah, you are supposed to bless the government of Israel. The government of Israel is who you're looking at, man. The Lord's will. These brothers, starting with our apostles, so-called Black, Latino, Native American, these brothers that in the last days came into the knowledge of who they are and are prophesying against Babylon and are prophesying against this beast system. All right, which is NATO and the EU. These are your future rulers, man. This is the government of Israel, the remnant. Okay, so yeah, you should be blessing, but you're not blessing the real Israel. You're over there blessing devils, man. Okay, and it says, "And many nations shall come and say, Come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways." See, they're not doing that with you because what are they going to learn about? From listening to this clown. All right. What dildo to use, man? That's all this guy's going to be able to teach you, man. How to be a sodomite, how to be a freak, how to be an atheist, how to rage against the Most High. You see? Hey, man, David was handsome. Look at this motherfucker, man. This dude is ugly as it gets, man. Anyways, reading on, it says, Micah 4:2, "And many nations shall come and say, Come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. And we will walk in his paths, for the law shall go forth of Zion." You see? So that's what's supposed to happen. The law is supposed to go forth of Zion because the law is going to be in us. That's the new covenant. The law being written in our inward parts, man. So where we're going to be, walking, breathing, living perfection of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. That's a miracle in and of itself because, look at us now, man. We're in the lower state, We're in these bodies. We're subject to being sick. We're subject to all types of things, man. All right, but it says in the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem, the word is not going out. Where are your prophets, man? You don't have any prophets over there, man. The law is not going forth over there because you're not establishing righteousness. All right. "And he shall judge among many people Salakia. All right. So this is Micah 4 and 3, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks, which means what? Taking your money away from war and focusing on feeding your people. Listen, man, the earth is about to be a paradise again. The heathen, trust me, they're not going to mind being servants when they have a clean earth. They're not being impressed by by Esau anymore. Okay, you're going to have a fair shake. Listen, as long as you do the right thing, you nations, you'll be blessed by blessing us. You will be blessed being on the same earth. Being in the same universe as us. We're in our seat of rulership. Even though you're going to be beneath us, you're still going to be blessed. Now it's going to come with a rod of iron. We're going to have to, use that spiritual power to put you nations down. But when y'all finally get the picture and y'all follow us, man, okay, it's not going to be too complicated. It's going to be common sense to follow us. All right. But it says, nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. All they're talking about is war over there. All they're talking about is missiles here, missiles there. Is Trump going to sign off? Apparently, he already signed off, but he didn't give the final okay. And they're saying by this weekend, could be sooner, because they like to throw out. There's so much misinformation going out there, man. So we got to be, we got to have a high level of discernment and pray for that. But they're saying by the weekend, which it could be sooner, because they might be saying that to throw them off and give them a false sense of like there's time, and then boom, hit them. We'll see what happens, man. All right, but it looks like from the looks of it, this is gonna go up. We know this is not the end in terms of the final judgment, the Armageddon, where the missiles fly. All right, the ICBMs. But we know that the MOTB has to drop first, so we're waiting on that prophecy. But this is all going to lead into that, man. Iran is talking about shutting down the Strait of Hormuz. Gas is going to go up astronomically high if that happens, which that could lead to hyperinflation, chaos, more riots. There's civil unrest already in the U.S., so they got the excuse to bring down martial law. People are going to be rioting even more, and it's not just going to be because they don't like Trump. It's going to be because they need food. All right, so they're going to bring it in, and that could cause economic collapse. And by that, they can bring in that MOTB, that device, all right, without it, you won't be able to buy or sell. And that'll be the end. And then right there, everything's already set. It won't take much for the missiles to fly. You see how things are going right now. All right, so we could be up out of here in a matter of 6 months to a year, man. Lord's will. We'll see how it plays out. I pray and hope that, happens as soon as possible. We want the kingdom. We want to get the hell out of captivity. But, we got to watch and pray and just be patient. It's all in the Lord's time. And anyways. But again, nation shall not lift up a sword against nation. So how can they be the people? How can they be fulfilling the prophecy of being back in the land? All right, when all they're doing is learning war. Even their women are learning war. The Ukrainians, they're pulling old men off the street that are in the middle-aged men to go on the front lines to die against Russia. All right, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of Yahweh of hosts have spoken it. So that means what? We're going to be in peace. Okay, you're not in peace over there. That's why a bunch of people, they're fleeing Tel Aviv. They're going to bunkers. We're not going to have to do that. Hey, man, an elect man in that day could rip through an army single-handedly. So there's going to be no more wars, man, because we're going to be the powers that be, and we're going to rule with an unshakable rod of iron, man. All right. Which goes into what? A severe and rigorous rulership. All right. Hey, shalom to the brother Shalom. He put Obadiah 1 and 2. All right. It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. You can see it, man. Everybody's hip to this man's bullshit. They're coming out with the propaganda, pro-Israel this, pro-Israel that, patriotic bullshit. I haven't seen certain Jakes, man. That one dude that had the song, the single mom song. I think his name is Brandon Jamal. That fucking fool, man. He's talking about he's all patriotic. Iran better not fuck around and find out, blah blah blah. But you don't realize that you're gonna be caught up. There is no winners amongst you nations in World War III. That's what you people don't understand, man. That whole pride of Esau that rubbed off on our people, you've been deceived, man. And hey, the scripture is going to get right into it. But you Edomites are very despised, man, especially over there in the land of Israel, because you're the ones creating all the chaos and the turmoil, man. Destabilizing countries, killing all these people, men, women, and children. All right. And you're pushing your wickedness. And they're really saying, well, Iran is an oppressive place, because it's a spiritual war and a cultural war as well, because the Iranians, they want to hold on to their way of life, right? Which they're not right either, but their women are covered up, okay? And they do have more of a sense of right from wrong. They're not westernized. Westernization is that wine, that philosophy that has corrupted and polluted and poisoned all the nations, man. And they're not going for it. You see? And the Ayatollah, he said he's not gonna be standing down. He's not gonna surrender, because the Lord got a spirit on him not to surrender, because he's gonna be part of that World War III, man. And Iran is gonna get obliterated. But guess what? So is Israel and the US and a lot of the other nations involved. Every nation that's involved in World War III is gonna be a loser. That's what you people don't understand. The only ones that's gonna win is Yahweh Shai and his elect. All right, Lord's will, we partake in it. We don't have to, go march, go do anything. All we got to do is continue to prophesy, trust in our God, and pray, and the Lord is going to deliver us. He's going to take us up out of here in chariots, man, and so-called spaceships. How else are we going to get out of here, man? Because it's certainly going to be Armageddon. This place where we at right now is going to be wiped out. So the Lord Yahweh Shai, when he comes back, the scripture says he's going to send out the angels to collect his elect. Paraphrasing it, to gather his elect from the four corners, man. But this is Obadiah 1:3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You see, that's Esau, man. His pride has deceived him. All right, and that's why they are able to say, well, they think Iran is going to be another Afghanistan. This is the snare. This is the straw that's going to break the camel's back right here. Okay, and they dwell us in the clefts of the rock. That's them, going back to, Petra, Mount Seir. They like to dwell in caves. But later on, they was in the Caucasus Mountains. That's where you Edomites like to be. That's why you made all these cities like caves, man, with streets and high-rise buildings. All right, that's not natural. That's not how we were meant to live, man. All right, but he's saying, who shall bring him down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. So that's their symbol, the eagle, because the eagle is a bird of prey that's basically, it's a top apex predator in the wild. All right, so they exalt themselves as the eagle, and they operate like an eagle on the world stage. But the Lord is going to be the one to take them down, man. All right, the Lord is going to take you down. They set their nest among the stars, man. They got Starlink, they got this, they got that, they got satellites, they got direct energy weapons from space. Hey, the Lord, equipped you with some shit, but it's all for the more glory to Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai when they completely wipe out all of your forces, man. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna play this to the end of this, and then get maybe like one or two more.
I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
The Israelites, okay? Not the Ish, because Ish means like or pertaining to. All right? It's talking about the Israelites, which are being referred to as Black, Latino, and Native American in these last days.
Oh,
That's not what it says.
okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is.
You see? And that's the foolishness, man. They use the Bible, they use these talking points, man. But in Israel, they're over there pushing things that you conservatives don't even push over here in America. You see? They're over there pushing sodomy, wickedness, all right? All types of perversions, idols, man. Just the most blasphemous things you can imagine. Most of them are basically atheists. Okay, and but yet you want to use the talking point of them being the Lord's people, that they should be blessed. But here it is. You don't even, your supporters here in America don't even support that shit. They don't even want to deal with Israel anymore. Okay? You are greatly despised. You know, even other Edomites despise you, Amalekites, man. Everybody hates you. Even your own nation. Even those of your own nation hate you. They don't want to deal with Israel no more. The state of Israel over there, which is really Edom. Okay, but let's get one to close it out. Unless I see anything on the comment board, I'll just get this and close it out. Yeah, the point's been made, man. They're being exposed. Yeah, this is Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? All right, so the wicked, Esau, Edom, what have you to do to declare the Lord's statutes? This dude was fumbling on the most basic understanding of the scriptures just now. They'll blatantly tell you they don't subscribe to the Bible. They get to just claim to be the Lord's people. Where does the concept of a chosen people even originate? In the Holy Bible. All right, dealing with the Lord's, starting with, all the way back to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Before that, Noah being delivered from the flood. This is the scriptures is the perspective from the chosen line. All right. So that's where the concept of a chosen even comes from. The Holy Bible. But yet they'll take that part of it, being the chosen, and they want all of the blessings, being on top, being all the nations underneath them. But they don't want to subscribe to nothing that's actually written in the book. Make that make sense, man. But that's what it is to be a hypocrite, an actor, man. All right? Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth my words behind thee. You see? When it comes to having to actually enact what's written in the book, are they doing that over there? Hell no. Because they're the wicked, man. All right? And the Lord's people will be gathered from the land of the north, man. That's what it says in that final great deliverance. The land of the north is where? North America. So it ain't going to be, how are you going to be delivered and taken to the land if you're already over there? So none of what they say adds up to what the Bible says of them. It adds up to fulfilling what the wicked would be doing, what Esau, Edom would be doing, but they don't fulfill not one iota of what is concerning the real chosen people, man. All right. So, hey, man, Lord's will, this is edifying. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. All praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Akakadash. And, hey, shalom to the next one.